With these salary adjustments, we'll have a contingency of approximately $100,000. And it could be a little bit more than that, but that's being conservative. So we think that if this was the right time to do it, because in the future years, as we look at things a little bit more closely, I'm not sure we can continue to do this at this level.
Okay. Anyone have any comments or questions?
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. I'm just a little, I would almost like to see this, and I know I don't think we've ever done this before, but instead of just doing, okay, here's the schedule for next year, maybe do it for the next 2 years, and instead of doing like a 5%, like, you know, right now do maybe like a 4 and then a 2 the following year, or something like that, so it's not the appearance of a 5% raise. I'm not getting 5%. You get, who's getting 5% here?
We got 2%.
I'm getting
What do you get?
Not even 4, and it's, part of it was a catch-up and also a concession we had to make, that we know,
Right.
for something that we no longer
Honestly, I don't
have.
know what I'm getting.
Plus we have to pay more into our pension.
Right.
And
that's-
our district did 2% with a hope to do 2% next year and
Right.
2% the following year. But with that, our health insurance has gone up. So
Yeah, well.
our 2% doesn't quite cover our health insurance, so.
Yeah, I know for the county, again,
Yeah.
there's been some increases, but the retirement contribution ate up a good chunk of
A
that.
good chunk, that's what.
Well, like I said, there's never a good time to do
No,
this.
and I get that.
And again, checking with a lot of the other districts to try to find out what they're doing. Some of them are keeping their comments close to the vest because their board is not public yet.
Right.
But as an example, Arcade Creek is, and I'm sure this is much more bolder than what we're doing. They actually cut back and went to a 4-day work week last year, and so this year rather. And so they're reinstating a 20% one day, but bringing them back where they were whole before.
Right.
Carmichael's doing a 3% increase. And what happened was we got the consumers index, and we went from 2008, which was on our record the last time a raise was given. And what we did was we looked at it as a 13.1% increase, even though we were in a very trying times.
Right.
And again, from my perspective, is it partially arbitrary? Yes, it is.
Right, no,
But
I know, I get that, it's, you gotta come up with something. And that's just, I'm only one person, if you guys all think this is good, then, you know.
I do agree with more gradual increase just because I think that's more reality, but.
Okay. Well, and again, first of all, this is nothing to say that our employees aren't worth this dollars. I'm just, we've gone through some tough times, and I want to kind of gradually work back into stuff. I don't want to say, oh, okay, we got money, boom. I've always been real conservative ever since I've been on this board on the way we spend money. So I just don't know what anybody else thinks. If we want to do a 2-year, or if we just want to, we have a few options. We can do, 1 year, keep it to 5%. We can do a 1 year, reduce it somehow, or we can do a 2-year and spread things out a little bit more. What's anybody's
So you
pleasure?
mentioned 4 and 2 to make it 6% over 2 years, right?
Yeah,
And be a little bit more because of 2% on the 4, right?
right.
I think, the morale, but I want to make sure that we're able to keep employees and they're not jumping because of other districts might change the offer.
Right.
So,
I get that. But again, like what Larry just said, what you said, somebody said was doing 3%, somebody else was doing 4%.
Carmichael's doing 3, and Arcade Creek is actually
Well,
doing 20.
right.
But that's just to get them back
Okay.
to where they were.
So, if we do 4, we're still theoretically
Strong.
head of the game of Carmichael. At least we're with everybody, we're not just saying. And again, if it comes next year and we said, the following year was gonna be 2%, and we come the next year that we look much better, well, that's nothing to say we couldn't change that at that point.
You think from the employee's point of view that, hey, we get a 4% raise or 5, and then next year we get nothing? They may feel less than.
Well, again, and that's what I'm saying, if we do 5 right now, we don't know what's gonna happen next year, and we might not be able to do anything. And that's why I said maybe we wanna do it over a couple of years, because I know a lot of the contracts and stuff the county does, it's over multiple years, and it's, you know, so much a year, and so at least employees know that, you know, okay, so this year they know they may be getting 5, but next year they don't know what they're getting. So if we do a 4, you know, that was just a number I threw in, just a 4 and a 2, and that way they know at least. And again, like you said, the 2% is on top of the 4%, so it's a little bit more, yeah.
If it helps your discussions just a little bit, I think the key of the different financial scenarios I've presented to you, I think that the most important one to me, is the step increases.
Okay.
Because those have been frozen for this long period of
Okay.
time, and that's different. COLA's trying to keep up with the cost of
Right,
living.
right.
The other one is merit, it's earned,
Right.
but it's not been received.
Okay.
So if you were going to do anything, I would certainly recommend, let's stay with the step increases, because it only affects 2 employees.
Okay.
And the part-times bring it back up to 38 hours, but if you want to look at adjusting that COLA, that would probably be the area I would focus in as well.
And I agree, I want to bring them back up to the 38, I mean, I don't have any problem with that at all.
Neither do I.
38 hours?
And I don't have any
Yeah.
problem with the step increases either. Again, I was just talking about the COLA overall. And I just, you know, before the meeting, I was just kind of thinking this through and, okay, you know, if we do this and then, you know, if something happens next year, oh, sorry, you don't get anything, then we have to freeze this, and I would rather be a little bit more on the conservative side, but again, I just wanted to get everybody else's feeling on this.
So, be clear to me, the step increase and the 5% are 2 different things?
Yes.
So the step increase is gonna be an increase no matter what, when you jump a step, you're gonna get higher than you
Right,
would
but
have
we
at
had
a level
frozen-
2 or a level 3.
Yeah, we had frozen the
Right.
step, so right now, here's the step, and so wherever they were,
Right.
they're stuck there.
Mhm.
And so, you know, that would go back in, and those would happen. And again, I have no problem with bringing the 35 back up to the 38.
I would like the 35 to 38, I'd like the step increases, but if I see this increase here, then I would like to be consistent and do 3 and 3 over 2 years.
Oh, that's fine, I
You know,
just.
so it's a consistent way that they're being handled and appreciated.
That's fine,
That sounds reasonable.
because we're still doing the same for the retirement, right? That starts at 6 p.m. Okay.
Yeah. And we have the money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me when I read here, we have the money for that, so I'm happy
Correct,
that we can
correct.
cover that.
Yeah, if you decide to go 3% COLA this year, what it's going to do is going to take that projected $98,000 in contingency. It's going to bump it up a little bit more.
Right.
And honestly, we want to keep that contingency as high as we can, because we have old things that are breaking down, and we need to have the resources to address those. But as you look at the COLA, you know, it's certainly your call. If you want to just simply go ahead and approve a COLA for this year, I don't know if you're obligated to do it next year, unless you want to just verbally say that if things are looking better next year, we certainly can revisit that.
Right, and I think it's more so the employees know that, you know, we are trying to value them, and, you know, the intent is, okay, we're gonna give you 3 this year, and hopefully we're gonna be able to give you 3 next year. And again, and you're absolutely right, there's nothing to say that this time next year, we can't say, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do that at a 3, we may have to reduce it to 1 or 2 or whatever. So, I mean, I would just like to, I mean, I don't know if we have to do an actual salary scale for 15, 16, or just say the intent is to give 3%.
I would just do the intent. We can always do
I don't
the
have a
salary
problem
scale
with that.
later on.
Are we all on the
I like
same
that.
page, kind of, then?
Yeah, so you would like a motion
Yeah.
to approve, can I combine the 2, or I have to
Oh, no, I
say?
think
Or
this is presented
approve
as
both
one.
the full-time and the part-time salary
No,
scale?
no. We
Or
haven't-
you want to,
But
we
we
want to
haven't
address
even,
the
we haven't talked
full-time?
about part-time yet.
Oh,
That's the
I thought we
next-
did, kind of.
No, that's the next agenda item. We
Oh,
can.
on full-time,
Yes.
that we reinstate the merit increases, and for fiscal year 14-15, a 3% COLA with the board's intention of a 3%
15,
15, 16.
15, 16.
Yeah.
Before anybody says a second, can I ask you to amend and state in there that the full-time, part-time, or whatever we want to call these people, will go from 35 to 38 hours?
But is that in the part-time salary though?
Is that part-time or is that full-time?
It's, Terry, help me out here.
That's
know,
why I
that's what I'm
didn't
saying.
include it, that's why I asked if I
They're-
could combine the
they're-
two.
They're called part-time full, I get, regular part-time?
Yeah, regular part.
Regular part-time, the others are more of a
Seasonal
seasonal
part-time.
type of part-time.
Right, this is seasonal.
But but for budgeting purposes, we're taking, Terry, correctly, we're taking those four people,
guys.
include them as part of the full-time.
Oh,
That's-
okay,
that's
then,
what I
okay,
thought.
that's what I
Yeah, so
needed to
you're
know.
good
Okay,
where
and
you're going
then-
with it.
And
Okay.
then, our full, or I guess our
The
part.
current 35 hours per week.
Yeah,
are 38 hours.
our staff that are here full-time receive 38 hours of pay versus,
Yeah.
increase from 30 to
And there's a
35.
50 cent per hour thing.
And their salary adjustment,
There you go.
hourly
Did
salary.
you get everything, Terry, in that?
Oh, I'll be listening to the tape.
I know.
Call me.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. First of all, I do want to thank staff for doing this work because I know this is not easy. Again, this is, well, it might be easy, but it's very time consuming. So I do want to thank staff for that. We do appreciate staff's work, but we just want to keep things going.
Who seconded that? I'm
Me.
So,
Those two. Okay, so now we're going to do business item E, approval of the part-time salary scale for fiscal year 14-15. So again, you've been given, and I'll let Larry take this over, but you're given 13-14, 14-15. What I've glanced at, most of them have not changed. There was a few items that have changed. But again, as the steps go higher, I think that's where they've changed. Am I correct?
Actually, the change is associated with the
Minimum wage.
minimum wage increase. So
Okay.
everything's going to be, anything that was impacted would be at the bottom.
Right.
And if those were impacted at the bottom, then it would self-adjust all the way to the top. But it didn't affect only just a few of
Right.
the positions.
Okay.
Very minimal.
All right, anyone have any,
I just had a couple.
go for it.
So now the snack bar manager and the snack bar operator make the same wage? Like, there's a couple things like that where,
There are going to be some positions that we'll have to go back and clean up.
Okay.
The reality of the situation is right now that we are not staffing the snack bar. The swim team is actually
okay,
using that as a fundraiser. We got out of that job a couple years ago. Chuck decided he didn't want to spend the money
Well, and-
on food. So that's one that, it's a good catch, and we'll
because
clean
like the
that up.
swim aid and the instructor with the water, yeah, there was a couple that just seemed like they used to make, like $1 an hour difference, and now they're.
And if it helps you at all too, one of the goals this next year, I really would like to have staff and I take a really good close look at this. I think we have way too many part-time positions. We probably cut this by half. We should be lumping categories in together rather than separating out. So what you're really approving today is the minimum wage part of it, but we will
Right,
come back
okay.
with a cleanup and bring it back to you at a later time.
Okay,
I know aquatics, though, that's usually seasonal.
great,
Yeah.
Aquatics is usually one that kind of stands out on its own, just a little bit different than
Yes.
others.
Right. Okay. So,
so we just need to approve.
we just need to approve this step. So I just, as a separate question, and this is, I guess, more for Scott. So are the coaches still good with this pay?
Yes,
Okay.
so far so good.
Okay, that's fine. I have no idea what other coaches get now. I mean, I remember what it used to be when I was with the Dolphins eons ago now. Okay, so we have the 2014-15 part-time salary schedule.
so moved.
Thank you very much.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passed unanimously.